Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, White House says privatized ATC system should be funded by user fees. Restoration of Twin Mustang progressing. Czech Sport Aircraft setting up new shop. Hello, I'm Laura Hudson. It's June 7th and this is Airborne Unlimited. Face it, we all knew this was coming. Shortly after Monday's announcement by President Donald Trump about plans to privatize ATC, the White House released what it characterized as an overview of the president's principles of reforming the U.S. air traffic control system. According to the document, the system is intended to be funded entirely by user fees. The document states that the new nonprofit ATC entity should be financially self-sufficient through the collection of user fees that cover both its cost of operations and recapitalization. The aviation taxes that currently cover these costs should be sunset, except for those necessary to continue to fund the Airport Improvement Program. General fund revenues should fund the rest of the FAA. Users should have input in the fees and their structure, which should be guided by ICAO principles and be consistent with the international obligations of the United States. Except national security users, diplomatic users, and public safety users, all users should pay their fair share. To ensure that rates are just and reasonable, however, users should have the ability to request review by the Secretary of Transportation rather than the Congress. Any determination by the Secretary of Transportation should be final. A rare XP-82 Twin Mustang being restored by a team led by Tom Reilly in Douglas, Georgia, is moving closer to a return to flight. According to Reilly, the team is finishing work on testing each electrical circuit. The process is a complicated one because each cockpit of the airplane has full controls, and the pilots had the ability to switch all electrical controls back and forth between cockpits. Every system from boost pumps and lighting to electrical mixture controls, bombs, rockets, and guns could be operated from either cockpit. Warbird News reported that Reilly has finally located the last two electrical components needed to restore the radio installations to their original condition. Meanwhile, work is also continuing on the exterior of the airplane, including English wheeling the fuselage to center section and the wing trailing edge and wing fairings, as well as tack riveting the cowling prior to spot welding. The team says that the testing on the hydraulic system for landing gear and flaps should be wrapped up at the end of this month, and that final rigging of the primary flight controls for the elevator and rudder is completed, along with trim tab systems. Rigging for the wings will take place once the wings are fully attached to the fuselage. After the break, Czech Sport Aircraft is moving to new digs.
The Bristol Light Sport Aircraft is what you are looking for. The Bristol is wider than a Cirrus, faster than a Skyhawk, offers more storage than a Husky, and comes standard with Garmin avionics. So what are you waiting for? Visit Bristol.com to find out how you can get into a Bristol today.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. Czech Sport Aircraft is establishing an assembly and distribution facility at the Sebastian Airport where it will build LSAs in a new hangar scheduled to be completed this summer. The Sebastian City Council made a deal with the company in late April to bring the facility to the airport. The facility will be the exclusive import, assembly, and service headquarters for all of North, Central, and South America, including the United States. City Manager Joe Griffin said that the planes will be manufactured in the Czech Republic and then shipped in containers to Florida, where final assembly will be completed and the airplanes will be test flown. The company offers two models, the PS-28 Cruiser and the Sport Cruiser. They also support the existing fleet of Hyper Sport LSAs. The company hopes to carve out a niche in the flight training business, as well as appeal to LSA buyers who are looking at the upper end of the price spectrum for such aircraft. They sell for about $150,000 each. With some 3,000 Aero TV programs webcast to cyberspace, sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero TV classic episodes.
What does your air show future look like at this stage of the game?
Well, as I said, it's been a rough year for air shows. Personally, I've lost 8 shows this year from sequestration and the cancellation, so it's been a rough season, but we're surviving, trying to get Dracula out there a little bit more, the new airplane. We've got it here at
A&N CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell speaks with aerobatic and airshow master Kyle Franklin at EAA AirVenture 2013. Kyle puts on a show that is fun to watch, exciting, and most important, it's entertaining. Search We're Surviving, Kyle Franklin describes airshow life circa 2013 on Aero TV's news channel. After these messages, Jet Airways launches cadet pilot training.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
The dream is real, a truly affordable personal jet aircraft. The Subsonics Personal Jet Kit is priced at only $42,000. Kit plus engine is still under $100K. Add instruments, upholstery, and paint and you're flying. It's time to put your money where your bucket list is. Learn more at sonicsaircraft.com.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. India's Jet Airways announced the launch of a new commercial pilot license cadet pilot training program aimed at creating more than 380 professional pilots over the next 5 years. The first set of 60 cadets will be training in the second half of 2017 with ground school and flight training at CAE's flight academies in Phoenix, Arizona and Gondia, India. Orbital ATK has received an initial $90 million contract from Northrop Grumman to produce composite components for the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, with an option for follow-on orders. Under the terms of the 5-year contract, Orbital ATK will perform non-recurring engineering and produce 17 hot trailing edge composite parts. Production will take place at Orbital ATK's facility in Dayton, Ohio. Airmen from the Alaska Air National Guard recently accepted the first HC-130J Combat King II assigned to an U.S. Air National Guard unit at the Lockheed Martin facility in Greenville, South Carolina. This HC-130J will be operated by the 211th Rescue Squadron, 176 wings stationed at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, Alaska. The 211th RQS previously operated the legacy HC-130P aircraft to support personnel recovery missions in Alaska and the Pacific Theater. NASA's Director of Flight Operations, Brian Kelly, has selected Texas native Patrick Forrester as the Chief of the Astronaut Office. Forrester replaces U.S. Navy Captain Christopher Cassidy, who has held the position since July 2015. Cassidy will return to the Astronaut Corps and resume his candidacy for flight assignment. The first Japanese assembled F-35A was unveiled at the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Komaki South F-35 final assembly and checkout facility. The Japan F-35 FCAO is operated by MHI with technical assistance from Lockheed Martin and oversight from the U.S. government. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. One of A&N's most successful programs, an effort to keep our editorial efforts real, has been the use of stringers for some special event coverage. Choosing talented people with writing, photography, and videography skills to supplement the A&N crew has resulted in a better focus on the stories and concerns expressed by real flyers all over the Aeroverse, especially at Oshkosh. We instituted the Aero Stringer program over a decade ago to allow promising volunteer writers and photographers with a true passion for aviation to come aboard and help us cover Oshkosh through their eyes and keep us in touch with the true rank and file of the aviation world. Get your data in now if you want to be considered for what promises to be one of our most intriguing and unique Oshkosh adventures yet. If interested, please send samples of your stories and shots along with a little background. You'll be working with the most energetic team in aero journalism. If you have video skills, send along a clip of your work and a list of software and equipment that you're comfortable working with. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. See you tomorrow.